Effects of Bad Parenting on Children by Ahmed Mansaray. Introduction. In the U.S., roughly 16% of children experience some form of abuse, including physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. 18% of parents have a permissive parenting style, which meets the clinical of bad parenting. Thesis statement. It is very unfortunate that children experience physical abuse and emotional abuse. As a consequence, I will inform you guys to 5 solutions to bad parenting on children, right? So these 5 solutions is going to be the solution to parenting that's bad on children, like parenting that's affects children. So looking at these 5 solutions, people would know what to do when it would be a case where it's children they're being treated bad by their parents, right? I remember being a young I remember being as young as 4 years old, getting spanked for crying, having a man who was physically intimidating, screaming at me to suck it up was awful. This same man once picked up one of my kittens, slammed it into the ground when it scratched him, and then spanked me for crying at the sight of it, writhing on the ground in pain. After having the spine broken, I was constantly told how fat I was, how ugly I was. I was screamed at for not shaving my legs when I was 11. I was always a straight A student. The few occasions where I got a B on so much as a single assignment resulted in me getting yelled at and called a failure. He constantly criticized everything I did. I tried to kill myself when I was 8 years old, and it was entirely because of him, right? So in this story is basically about a 4-year-old child that was getting abused by their parents, and the effect of the child being abused, they wanted to kill themselves, which is really bad in this situation because the abuse had gone bad to a point where it's the child, they want to kill themselves, which is not good, right? And this was really making the child really not feel confident enough in themselves. They was feeling really discouraged. They was being told how ugly they was too as well, right? And this is something that's not good for the child. It's bad for their mental health to hear these things, right? And the child attempted to kill themselves when they was 8 years old, and it was all because of the child dad, right? And this is something that's really not that good in this situation. That's why it's very important that parents they work on their parenting skills, and they shouldn't really be abusive, because it could go to a point where it's children they're committing suicide and doing all of these terrible things, right? So along with all of these problems, there comes a solution, right? So my 5 solutions to bad parenting would be: 1, show child love and affection. The reason why it's important to show a child love and affection is because they deserve love, and it will make them be able to act out of love. And once they get love, they'll be able to give out love too as well, right? So if they're just getting abused, they're just taking in all of this abuse, is not going to be good for them, because all they're seeing is abuse, right? And having affection, right? And showing a child affection, it will help out in bad parenting, because it'll show you really care. It'll show you care about the child, and it'll make the child feel really important, right? Pay attention to child thoughts and feelings. The reason why this would be along with the 5 solutions would be because when you pay attention to a child thoughts and feelings, it's you making sure you're there for them, right? You making sure like you're there when they're feeling like all of these moods, like let's just say like the child is feeling sad. A good parent will go up to the child and say, hey, like, is everything okay, right? And like that will make like the child feel important, right? And make them feel like involved, and make them feel like, oh, like my parents, they're here for me, right? And it will make them open up more too as well, right? Number three, give second chances when child mess up. This is something that's really important because if a child messes up, it's very important to make it seem like it's okay, right? Let's not put too much pressure on the child, because let's say a child messes up, right? And then you just say, hey, it's just like it wouldn't be right, right? So it's very important for like the child to like feel like it's okay to make mistakes, right? Because the child is still learning, right? Number four, be open to talk about any issues, right? This is one of the other solutions that I included, because like when the child is being open to like any issues, it's like they're open to like tell you what's wrong, right? And that's very important to have like in the relationship with your parents, right? To like have those talks and conversations, right? Number five, have each other backs, right? This is a good solution that I included, because having each other back is making sure that the child will feel like, oh, like my parents, they have my back. Like it's like it gives them a safe cushion, right? So like they will be able to feel like okay, right? They'll feel like confident enough that you'll be there for them, right? You'll be there for them, and they'll feel okay and perfectly fine, right? Now, lastly, conclusion. It would be best if we all be aware of child experience physical abuse and emotional abuse. Treating your child with care will help stop emotional abuse, right? That would be the conclusion, right? And that will be the end of this. Also, my sources is here that I've included, right? So that would be the end of this speech. I hope you guys enjoy it and have a good day.